You're recording shit. Welcome to Future Role Model, a podcast that praises the unconventional and redefines what it means to be a role model. In the house today, oh, by the way, I'm your host, Natasha Pearl Hansen, if you haven't figured the fuck out yet. This is my friend Matt O'Brien sitting next to me.
Hi. I've never heard you say, do you usually say Natasha?
Natasha.
Is it? I've been saying Natasha.
Natasha?
Is that bad?
No, I mean, people pronounce my name all sorts of ways, and I don't really care because I let my name be to whatever the people want.
I see.
Be to the people what it is to the people.
Take my name, people, and do with it as you please.
Make me as you will.
Rip it to shreds.
So I have people that have called me Tosh, Tash, Nat.
Yeah.
Natat, Nana.
Nat Tat?
Uh-huh.
That's no way that's happened more than 2 times.
Peg. I have one friend that calls me Peg.
Peg?
That one's weird.
Did that happen in Winnipeg? You just really
happened.
made the town your own?
Fuck, this is funny because these pants are coming back in style. But when I was in 8th grade, those wide-legged, almost Jinko jeans were in style.
Yeah.
And I have small feet. And so they covered, for my height.
For the listener, I'm staring at her feet.
When I was in 8th grade, I wore a size like 5.5 or 6, which is really tiny. Now I'm an 8. Now I'm more normal. But my feet went completely underneath the pant, so it looked like I was just
floating,
skimming tiles,
just like a Japanese anime ghost character. Just
exactly, like I just smooth. I was just a smooth motherfucker.
I used to have those big jeans too.
Yeah, I'm sure on you it was really,
they look very
really
stupid.
amazing.
And the big beaded silver necklaces, those like grungy necklaces.
And I actually sadly just bought one of those in Europe off of a guy who was totally like panhandling me. But I had to because nostalgia.
What a story too.
And also like where else am I gonna get a $20 necklace in Spain from a guy from Africa that I could have made myself 20 years ago?
Sounds like a crazy setup for a weird joke.
Right? I mean,
you're buying a necklace in Spain and $20 for a guy from Africa.
That's a joke nobody in the audience would be following along on. They'd be like, I lost her.
The setup
at
goes
Africa.
for 17 minutes. Yeah, and there's no punchline.
I'm like, you better get a timeline, bitch, and start making notes because nobody's gonna be able to follow this bitch.
Make notes, bitch.
Oh man. We were just talking about the fact that you and your wifey. By the way, I've had Matt O'Brien's wife, Julia Ladkowitz, on in the past. It was probably almost a year ago.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So much has happened.
I know so much.
We're
has
no
happened
longer
in the last
together.
Year. Oh fuck! Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
I just saw you guys.
Yeah. No, we're toast.
But I remember when she was on, we talked about the time that she had the buzzed haircut, and I laughed about that for probably like 3 weeks because I just can't.
Yeah, that was before me, but I'd known of her and her buzzed haircut in the comedy scene. I heard of this woman that started college and on her first day of college buzzed her head, and I never thought I'd end up meeting her, let alone living with her.
Right, and being with her. Now you guys have been married for 10 years, right?
We've been married for 3.
Oh, you've been married for 3. Been together for 10.
For 10.
Okay,
yeah.
I was somewhere in the right vicinity.
The buzzed head is because I buzzed my head too back in the day, but I was watching a lot of like Guy Ritchie movies, so I was like, I love that British buzz cut style, and then I realized I have such a round head. I look like a monkey. I had like a monkey.
I don't think I
head.
Have a good buzzed head. No, I don't think so at all.
Some people can pull it off, but not old shit pants McGee over here.
Did you acquire an accent when you
when I shaved my head? I tried. I tried.
The shorter your hair gets as a man who's tall, I feel like the more your accent has to shift.
Yes, it just went to more. I was in small town Canada, so I just went more Canadian. All right, bud. Oh fuck. Real cold top of the old goddamn head, dude.
Do you watch the show Letterkenny?
Of course. I auditioned for it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Fuck. Which part? Just
actually, do you know K-Trev, the Squirrely Dan?
Yeah.
His part. Which when he booked, he's a friend of mine too. And like when he booked it, I was like, oh yeah.
Damn.
Like for sure you, never me. Like can't even believe they even offered me the audition for
you
that.
guys are just totally different. But you would just play that so differently.
Yeah,
you would have a cool rendition of it as well.
I'd have a different way to do it. I get my agent will toss me a self tape for like hockey player, like because I can like I grew up around small town hockey.
And you can riff that.
I can riff that pretty easily.
Man, that show. The further it gets, though, the better. Like it's just so quick and It's at first I didn't quite because I'm from Wisconsin, so the Canada accent is like.
Crazy.
It's a whole nother level than the
It's
Madison.
almost like slam poetry.
It
It's
really
like-
is. It's
like-
got a cadence to it.
Yeah, it's got a cadence and like.
Like, is that iambic pentameter? Or?
Yeah, I know. You can really, you don't want to analyze too hard, but you're like, oh no, they're just all drunk, but they know a lot of words.
They're very talented too. I mean,
Yeah.
that whole cast is very talented.
Yeah,
but
they're great.
so, talk to me, Goose. What's been going on in your life besides
shit.
planning to go to Thailand over Christmas?
We want to go to Thailand for Christmas. What else is happening?
This episode comes out Tuesday, by the way. So if anybody would like to sponsor a trip for two wonderful comedians
Yeah.
to
Who you-
Thailand, please reach out.
You know barely anything about so far off the top. You want to sponsor me off the top without knowing
Give it
anything.
another 30 and to make your decision.
Yeah. Wait. If this comes out Tuesday,
It comes out Tuesday.
Last night I would have been at the Improv in Hollywood, so I'll be like, "Oh man, last night was rough." That's what I'll act like this is on
That's
Tuesday.
what you're assuming?
Yeah, what a rough set. Ay.
Main room or lab?
Lab.
Oh,
Which,
you'll be
you know,
fine.
Yeah, it's the lab.
You'll be- it's the
whatever.
lab, it's-
tiny little cozy cabaret space.
Exactly.
I'm just around. I'm around working on a few things, and like I feel like everything's winding down because of Thanksgiving and like the holidays.
I like
and all
this
that
time of
stuff.
year because of
It's
that.
weird. Also, American Thanksgiving is so crazy to me still because it's so huge. This
Right.
weekend's been insane.
Yeah.
Everything's shut down. No one's here.
Nobody's here, and it's been great. It's actually been really
Yeah.
good for my liver. Like, I hung out with a baby all day yesterday.
Oh, really? Just a random baby?
Just a baby. I
Yeah.
found it, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do with my Saturday.
It's a Thanksgiving miracle. Just cut open a turkey and there's a baby
What
inside.
on my step? Yeah, I mean it's really interesting, and I look forward to like I don't usually call my mom every day, like that's excessive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like a little tiny advent calendar of pain to myself, I've been calling my mother every single day leading up to Christmas because I'm actually excited to go home this year.
Oh, that's nice.
Because shit shuts down here, and I know there's not anything like I don't have to be working on anything.
Yeah,
That's nice.
That was what is also, but I'm also like, I like being busy and I like being able to work. So
Yeah.
it also bothered me, but the last 3 days, I just didn't take sweatpants off. I was in sweats the whole time, just eating like a piece of garbage. So this is actually the first time I've like left the house.
Yeah, eating like a piece of garbage or eating garbage. Physically
Column
eating.
A and column B, put them together, baby. I'm eating garbage, and I am garbage. But I've like really this year really given into American Thanksgiving, I feel.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is the difference between Canadian Thanksgiving and American?
Well, first of all, our Canadian Thanksgiving happens on a Sunday, which makes more sense to me because it's like a Sunday meal. So, and then it's like
Is it the third Sunday of the month? Similar to.
all over the place. It's some Sunday in October. I couldn't even tell you when.
Oh,
it just
shit.
happens all of a sudden. And then maybe you go home for the Saturday, but most people are just like go home for the Sunday, and then they're warming up their cars before the pie even comes out, and they get the hell out of there. It's
Yeah.
just like have a nice dinner with your family, and then get out of there, and then back to work on Monday.
Which
kind of
should
thing.
really be like a quarterly thing, if we're being honest.
Oh,
we
yeah.
should have like nice dinners with people we
It-
enjoy,
yeah.
or don't enjoy.
But
for
this
some of us.
weekend's like it's a Thursday, and there's dinner, eat, my, and then Black Friday, and then
Mm-hmm.
then Saturday, Sunday, everyone's like, "What's going on?" And I can't feel my legs.
Well, and it
And
starts
then-
with Blackout Wednesday. When I lived in Chicago,
Oh, that
Blackout Wednesday
too.
was huge.
Yeah.
Like people get so trashed the night
Oh,
before
yeah.
Thanksgiving because they feel like then they have they're warranted to stuff their face. Like,
Yeah.
I'm hungover. I can eat whatever I want now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
is
mean, it's
kinda weird.
exciting and it's very American. As an outsider, you're just like, you
Gluttonous.
guys,
It's
well, you
very
guys just do
gluttonous.
everything so big here. It's like, oh, you guys even do your Thanksgiving big, which in Canada is such a small little thing.
Yeah.
It's weird little things you notice down here. but-
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess I would never thought of that.
I tried to riff on it. I did a show just before Thanksgiving, and I was like, your Thanksgiving's crazy. I was like, so close to Christmas. What are you guys doing? And it was like silence, and I was like, oh, yeah, you guys like it. Well, you guys don't want to talk about it. Like, it's weird to only me, and like other Canadians that were in the room were like, yeah, it is weird.
It was like that when because I performed in Europe in the spring and it was over there Easter.
Yeah.
And Easter is massive there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Much bigger than here.
Yeah.
People take big old trips places, like people that I knew in Europe and poignantly was trying to reach out to in certain cities we were playing in. They were all out of town. We're going to the Grecian Islands. We're going to here. We're going to
Oh,
Yeah.
Easter, huh?
Easter, and people were partying really hard, like people that were in town. And so I was actually
Jeez.
talking about that, and I was like, Americans are stupid. We just do like baskets full of shitty candy. And like, you had to kind of make it about Americans sucking.
And also,
Then they
no
like,
one knows when Easter is. You're like, sometimes it's in March, sometimes it's in
unless you
April.
have kids, I think.
Sometimes it crops up in October, and you're like, what is this holiday?
I have no memories from Easter as a kid. Like, the only thing that I remembered is the dog I had growing up would eat my Easter basket every year, and it was easier to find her shit when I had to go clean the yard.
Oh my God.
Because it was shiny and full of colored tinfoil.
Oh no! And also, dogs eating chocolate. That's scary.
She
too.
never died from that.
Good for
I mean, she
her.
eventually did die.
Yeah, of
Because of
something.
time. Mostly because of time.
And the chocolate oozing out of her pores in the end. Just an inside just
She
full
just
of
turned
chocolate.
into a dark chocolate bar.
Yeah, and then that was the best Easter of all when they served up the chocolate dog.
Her name was Valentine, actually. So
Was she a
kind
chocolate
of,
lab?
It would no. She was
Okay.
a very, very ugly basset hound.
That's she probably knew how ugly she was, and she was like, "I'm gonna eat chocolate. I'm hideous. Who cares? I'm gonna live my life."
She was probably trying to die all those years.
Yeah.
And we just were preventing it.
All the
time
other
and time
dogs are
again.
like, "Look at her living her life. Look at that ugly, hideous dog, just eating chocolate, doing whatever she wants."
Our basset hound was the runt of the litter, which made her that much more funny looking because
Really?
she'd like, bassets are already like really droopy as it is, but
Yeah.
her body frame didn't handle the amount of skin that like showed up on her body.
Oh, that's fun to grab onto. Though,
Yeah,
when
she
you're
was just
petting.
like a loose,
Yeah.
like just like putting a tube sock on a pixie stick. It was just like floppy
That's
and
a good
loose.
feel for a dog. I had a Scotch Collie growing up, like a Lassie dog.
Oh yeah.
And he was like big and huge. I used to ride him around when I was a kid, like a horse.
Oh my
Like he was enormous.
You were an urban Canadian cowboy.
Yeah, well, I lived on a farm, so that kind of made more sense. But then people driving by would be like, "Is that kid riding a dog? Like, what kind of farm is this?"
Now, where in Canada did you grow up?
Outside of London, Ontario, in a small town called Thorndale.
Okay, London, Ontario.
Oh yeah, and it's first of all, London,
Why
Ontario.
did I not know Ontario had a London?
No one knows. First of all, I hate it. It's the worst city ever. It's also mapped after London, England. So there's a Thames River. The streets are named after.
How
so like
unoriginal, Canada. Get your shit
well,
together.
it's all the Commonwealth. So it's like you'll notice parts of Canada because we are in the Commonwealth and we're part of like the British, whatever. We love the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Certain cities are mapped after European or in British cities.
I guess it
as
kind of
well.
makes sense with Montreal feels very
Yeah.
European.
Oh yeah. So that's what London is. It's like it's but it's just like it's south of Toronto, so it's like a big city south of Toronto. So it's not. I don't know.
It's like Toronto, like a shitty
Diet
tiny.
Toronto. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
Diet
like the
Toronto.
Bud Light of Toronto. Or it's not good. Also, but I will say this. Bad town, but I was born in the same hospital as Justin Bieber and Rachel McAdams. So I mean,
Two great talents of our generation.
yeah, two, and then I cropped out, and they're like, this kid's, I don't know about this
They're like,
kid.
nothing else good is coming out of here. We got to get
We
rid of this
topped out.
town.
I like how in this scenario the doctors know Justin Bieber as he was born.
Right.
Like oh my God, this kid's Justin Bieber.
His genitals are probably made of gold and pearls
There
or
was
something.
something about that kid. I don't know what it was. But I grew up outside of that town, so 40 minutes outside.
So you were like diet.
Diet,
London.
super diet London, which is bad. Thorndale, at the time, I think there's maybe 500 people in that town.
What? Oh, that's
Like,
really
it was
small.
small, super
You were a
small.
township.
Oh, yeah.
Or what do they call that? Because we had one of those in my town. My town is Stoughton, Wisconsin, and we had Utica.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Utica, which was a they have names for these things. It
Township.
wasn't township,
Yeah.
but it was something like that. It was literally four corners.
Isn't it like village or like a intersection
Somebody
of a
will
town?
somebody will hear this and they will message me in like
Yeah.
a week or two and they'll correct me from my
Yeah.
hometown. But please tell me what it's called. But something like that. So 500. Fuck.
Super small. And we were actually outside of that town. So we weren't even like in this. We were on a farm 10 minutes outside of that
So
town.
if London, England
Yes.
had a diet,
Diet, light.
you were its butthole.
Yes, we were the butthole of the diet, diet. And that's where we were. We were right beside train tracks. And the train tracks were so rough. This is the funniest part. People would lose their hubcaps every time they drove too fast over them.
Uh-huh.
So like frequently I'd be sitting on the front porch on the old stoop. Somebody would drive over the train tracks that are right beside us. And then I'd see a hubcap just like still rolling.
Like a tumbleweed.
It would just
like
roll down the driveway, and we would collect the hubcaps. Like they just like spool into our laneway.
a Canadian tumbleweed.
Yeah, it was nice. It was. That's just hubcaps everywhere.
It's so industrial of you guys to
I
just
know.
collect the world's hubcaps.
I know.
You should have started a business at a young age. Where was your entrepreneurial mind?
I mean, I don't know. I was taking care of the animals, I guess.
Let's talk about that because I grew up farming too.
Farming what?
Farming everything.
Jesus.
The first thing
Did I know this?
The first thing I farmed was tobacco
Oh, shit.
when I was 8, 9.
That's tough.
About 9.
That's like, I knew like football players would do that in the summer because it's like a tough thing to harvest, isn't it?
It is really
Like, yeah.
tough. I can't. I mean, they would bring it in from the fields, and then they'd bring it to the slat houses or like the because it was fucking cold. So I'd be in the house next to like a chimney full of wood, like slating all the tobacco or slatting all the tobacco or whatever you call it,
Wow.
like tying it up.
Yeah.
And I'd get like 10 cents per one I did.
For a little bundle of tobacco.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What did you farm? Tell me all about this.
Well, we
love
just
the
had a hobby farm, so it was like animals. We had horses. At one point, we had probably 6 or 7 horses. We had 40 goats.
What do you mean by hobby farm? Like a petting farm?
As in, like, we didn't live off the farm. My parents still had jobs.
It wasn't a functioning farm.
Yeah, it was like we all just have a farm.
You just had space and animals.
Yeah, we had a barn and then we had the land to do it. So yeah, and like we would sell goats. Like old Portuguese men would pull up on our property and just like demand that they would buy some of our goats. I guess we had really nice looking goats, and they'd like line up and they'd be like pointing, and they'd be like this mini auction with all these old
Were they
Portuguese
lost,
men.
these Portuguese men? Did they think
They
they
knew
were
where
in the
they were
other
going.
London?
They knew where they were. Yeah, they were like,
So
this
wait,
isn't
how
London,
the
England.
fuck did they get to Canada?
Yeah.
It's like really far.
But so yeah, we'd sell goats. We'd sell like manure. Believe it or not, was a big thing.
It's a great market.
Yeah, so like people would come in and take our pieces of piles of shit that we had.
You sold pieces of shit.
Pieces of shit. We sold pieces of shit. I'm really painting the picture of my family right now. We were shit farmers, and we sold shit for generations.
The
yeah.
finest of the cow pies.
We had peacocks at one time.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
cool.
2 peacocks, because one wandered. First of all, me and my dad were riding horses in the back, in the bush, as they say. And then he sees a peacock in a tree, and I'm like, that's a peacock. And he goes, stay right here. And he comes back with a big net, and he just catches it. And then he just put it on the front lawn, because peacocks you put them in a piece of grass, and they just wander around.
And they don't leave?
She didn't leave. Was there for years. And then a couple months later, a female peacock showed up.
Because of the peacock being a peacock?
I guess, and I must have smelt the other one, or maybe they knew each other.
Well,
but
they do. That's what the whole tail crazy prettiness is for.
yeah, so it
Attracting-
worked. I mean, then there was a pair of peacocks, and they were the best of friends and lovers, and they had little eggs, and it was weird.
They had legs.
They had legs. They had little eggs, and everything. It was
Little eggs.
little eggs. They had little legs too.
I thought you were saying they had legs.
Can you believe
And I
it?
was-
Peacocks with legs.
I was like, oh, you're just clarifying that that's not why they didn't leave.
Yeah, no. That's day one of owning a peacock is you chop the legs off, and then you let them roll around the front lawn. As they did the Playboy Mansion too.
You just got a little peacock stand, just like
Yeah.
egg shaped.
Yes. But then to wake up to that peacock noise was crazy. Like I was a kid. I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8.
It's kind of roostery, right?
But it's like it's like a jungle. It's to wake up, and then you hear a horse, and then you hear a goat, and you're like, what is going on out there?
Like the most natural alarm clocks
It
ever.
was just a weird way to grow up.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 older sisters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you were the baby.
I'm the baby. I get what I want when I want.
So what was that like for all of you to grow up on there? Was it a little like, and what size of school did you go to at a 500-person school? Or was it because
Well, I went to school in London.
Oh, okay.
So I would take a short bus that would pick up all the farm kids and one deaf kid.
Thanks for clarifying.
Well, because I'm going to mention that in a second.
He's trying to say there's a diversity on the bus.
Yes. Pick up the farm kids and this one deaf kid and take us into town into our respective schools. But the bus driver, Earl, was like this huge hick. He lived down the street from me. And one morning, there was a freshly hit deer on the side of the road. Like someone just hit a deer. And then he pulls over immediately. He goes, I got to look at this. And he looks at it. We're like, we got to go to school, man. He gets some garbage bags from the back, wraps it up, throws it in the back of the bus, like blood everywhere. And then so we're like, he's like, I'm going to make a stew out of this when I get home.
Oh my God.
And so we're riding to school, and there's a dead twitching deer in the back seat. And this is why I mentioned the deaf kid. No one knows sign language. We can't explain to the deaf kid what's happening. So he's freaking the fuck out the whole ride. And we're like, I don't know. He's going to make a stew? Like, what? And then we pulled up, and you could see, like, blood coming out of the back of the bus. And then people were like, there's the short bus with all the fucking farm kids. And I had to tell them, like, there's a dead deer in the back of this bus. I don't know if you know what we're dealing with there.
Oh my God! Did you do a lot of deer hunting or anything growing up?
No, I couldn't kill an
I couldn't do it
animal.
either, actually.
I couldn't.
I can eat them, but I can't kill them.
I know, which makes me
directly.
think, I'm like, should I even be eating meat if I couldn't, hack open a cow
I
and
know.
feast on its gooey innards?
Oh God!
I definitely couldn't, like, I've had a lot of Jamaican food, and I couldn't eat goat. Like, I've been offered goat meat, and I'm like, I
There's certain
can't.
animals that I just can't.
Because I just grew up with them, and I'm like, I can't.
Even we had some friends that just got back from Finland.
Oh, yeah.
And they were showing us all these pictures of Finland, which I usually don't like looking at people's vacation pictures. It's like, fuck, okay, another island, whatever.
Yeah.
But Finland was actually pretty cool. It looked like a winter wonderland.
It looks neat.
It doesn't even look real. And they were on this farm of reindeer one day doing like riding on sleds being pulled by actual reindeer.
Cool.
And they were saying how people get fed reindeer a lot there. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's such a
Oh.
weird, to me, reindeer seems so like
Yeah.
classy and
I've had reindeer meat, actually.
I'm sure
Yeah,
because people
gamey.
I eat buffalo and bison, and other people would probably look at like a natural
Yeah.
pasture full of bison and be like, "Ugh, I can't imagine eating such a majestic animal.
I know.
But I raised elk.
Oh, really?
I mean, I didn't raise them.
Yeah.
I worked on a farm where there was
Elk was present.
and I fed them, and then
Yeah.
I did not kill them, but I would eat them.
Yeah. We would have a pig once a year, and we would fatten it up and then take it to the slaughterhouse and then have pig meat for the whole year kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would never, like, even my parents were like, we're not slaughtering any animals on this farm. Like, we'd take it to the slaughterhouse down the way and do it. But
Yeah. I had uncles that did that. I mean, I had just seen so much deer carcass growing up that it wasn't that strange to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that.
The one time that deer was I actually haven't eaten venison in a long time. One of the farms I worked at growing up, we had a big walk-in freezer
Yeah.
that apparently broke during the winter, but nobody knew.
Oh.
And until spring, when we went to go clean up, because there was a big barn people would do weddings in.
Yeah.
Went to go clean it up for the first wedding of the year, and realized that freezer had unthawed.
No, all that meat and everything?
Yeah, and it was
Ew.
ice cream and deer.
Milky meat.
Yes. It
Oh,
was the
God.
gnarliest thing I've ever had to touch in my life. I didn't
Yeah.
touch either of those things for many, many years.
Understandably so.
That was my
Yeah.
worst deer nightmare.
Meaty yogurt just leaking out of the room.
Oh, dude. I mean, it really was quite disgusting. It was one of the most foul things I've ever experienced. And so circling back to your farm, your family's house, why did they start collecting all these animals? Was there a reason?
I think, well, because they grew up in Peterborough, Ontario, in cities. And my dad was, he was a cop for a bit. He was also a RCMP, which is a Mountie,
Oh,
like classic Canadian
That is
style. Hat, horse, everything out in Calgary.
what is it? Did he ever tell you any good Mountie stories?
I mean, he would say he hated wearing the hat because if he had to get in his car, it would always he'd rush into his car and it would hit the hat and his hat would fall off and he'd have to Indiana Jones style grab it before his door closed. And he's just he said the hat was the worst thing. That big
Just so
stupid
big,
rimmed
yeah.
hat, that hipstery girls wear now. But it's now he's trying to get work done in that hat. And trying to be intimidating too at the same time.
You circle up around the holidays. You're like, Dad, tell us stories about being a Mountie. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't have any good ones. The fucking hat got
The
in the
fucking
way.
hat got in the way, and then he would just ride around and just keep an eye on shit. I don't know what he did actually, because he was a cop after. But it's I don't know what the Mounties do. They do parades and just look neat.
Yeah, learn how to put a saddle on a horse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be related to that. I mean, you got to know horses there, and then they'd always dreamed that they live on a farm again now outside of Peterborough. They inherited my Nana's farm, And so now they're on a farm right now. And crazy story, callback. There was a peacock on top of the barn yesterday. I posted a picture of it, but I texted my sister. I'm like, how's everything going in Canada? She's like, there's a goddamn peacock on top of the barn. It's been there all day. I'm like, what is with this family of peacocks?
So you guys have a new peacock pet?
Maybe well, it's been there. It's still there, too. I'm like, are we
You're
confident like
attracting.
peacocks?
Yeah, there must be something there. You're like an omen for beautiful, useless creatures.
My 62-year-old dad struts around the front lawn, just bobbing his neck
just
and
makes the call.
shaking his ass.
When is another peacock going to come?
Yeah, I know. So it's his own fault for attracting all these peacocks.
What did you enjoy most about growing up in that space?
Being alone and outside and quiet. That's literally... it's funny, I have thought about this a lot recently because like living in LA is like, it's crazy here. And like
so loud and...
I have neighbors above me and it's just so weird that everyone's just around people all the time. And like my wife, Julia, because I'll be like, sometimes I just like being alone. I need to be alone for a while. Like I need to do my own thing. And she's like, it's probably because you grew up on a farm. And I was like, yeah, I was alone a lot.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think is a bad thing. I enjoyed my time. Just being with my own thoughts and getting my own little things done, not in a creepy way. But it sounds like I did something creepy. But it's just like the stigma about being like, I need to be alone. It's like, what are you doing alone?
Right.
How dare you?
I think some of the most confident people are people that can spend time with themselves.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do, especially if you don't like yourself.
I guess I'm very into myself. You're right.
No, but I do know a lot of people that can't spend time alone. I was guilty of that when I was younger for a while. I think because I grew up an only child, so I was alone for so long. That once I was in my 20s in Chicago, I was like, if I'm not around people, something's wrong with me, And
I mean, it was nice having the whole family out there, and it's just like nice. I don't know. It was like a classic growing up. Just out in the middle of nowhere. It's so quiet. Oh, so much space too. Oh, the space. I would kill for space or a lawn or like just a patch of grass.
Something real.
Oh my God. I miss that the most too. I see myself retiring on a farm eventually.
Really?
Like I could definitely see myself going.
Back in Canada?
I don't know. I like old Western movies, so I'd always be like one of those like ranches in like Arizona or something, or Utah or something like that.
I could totally see you doing that, reviving
mostly the mustache,
a more manageable size hat than your father had, but still a hat.
Stapling it to my head so it doesn't fall off when I hop in the car.
Getting some Janko jeans, getting the whole bandwagon back together.
Just doing it all. Just doing it the way I want to do it.
So how did you and your sisters entertain yourself when you were on this farm growing up?
Honestly, my sisters were more into the animals than I was. I was envious of kids in the city. I'd always be like, I'm missing out on so much. Like, I feel like I was constantly missing out. So I'd always like when we got dial-up internet the first time, I'm like, I'm going to learn everything about this. And I got very techie and wanted to just keep communication with people, which totally contradicts the whole wanting to be alone thing.
Right.
But I just was like, I always felt like I was missing out on stuff, and I played sports like baseball and stuff like that, and
Were you decent at sports?
Yeah, I was pretty good at baseball for a while. There was this tournament called the Hit, Run, and Throw tournament set up by the Toronto Blue Jays, and I won it. You had to hit a tee ball as far as you could. You have to throw a ball as far as you could, and you had to run the bases as fast as you could. And I beat out my whole town.
Damn.
Thorndale.
I mean, out of 500, that's like 500. A large audition.
Right?
So very large-sized audition.
I felt pretty damn good about that. But yeah, that was it. It's just I don't know. We'd watch a lot of movies, and I think that's where my wanting to be part of show business really came from.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Where did that start to set in?
Because trust me, we're picking away at it. Like the scab that it is.
I'm excited.
Because we'd go into this flea market, Gibraltar Trade Center in London, and there was dollar movie rentals, so you could get a VHS for a week for $1. Mm-hmm. So we'd go there Saturdays, get a bag of tapes, movies, like 20 movies, and just watch them through the week. And it was just like...
Any genre, or was
everything.
It just anything?
Literally everything. Mostly porn. No, almost every time, actually... There was Mrs. Doubtfire or Ace Ventura was in there at one point.
Yeah, one of the classic Robin or
I'd probably have seen Mrs. Doubtfire 200 times. Like, I don't even know how many
There
times.
is nobody like those two. I mean, it's just like pretty, and Farley. I mean, the trio of those, they're just like unparalleled physical comedians.
That's and
It's
that
really
those
hard to find
guys.
now.
Yeah, it was like Tommy Boy, Happy Gilmore, Ace Ventura, Billy Madison, and like all those like movies. And I remember like vividly watching my parents laugh at those people and being like, oh, I like when my parents are laughing.
Did you find this? Because I found this about my parents, specifically my dad, maybe not my mother, but my dad doesn't laugh at anything.
Yeah.
Like, I picture like an upbringing, he kind of grew up on a farm too, and like, many kids, poor, all that stuff. I think he didn't find a lot funny. So when I would watch him laugh at something, I was like, oh, that's really fucking funny.
Same. Absolutely.
I remember so vividly the few things that he laughed at growing up.
Yeah.
And like, I still laugh.
I wonder if he ever noticed that. I wonder if he was ever like, knew that that was such a big thing that he was
like
laughing.
When I would watch it.
Yeah, just make a
Dad
little
laughing?
note.
Oh fuck, Dad's laughing.
What is that
this
little
is
notepad
really funny.
she's got?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad would he would laugh at things, and he still does this, and he hates that thing made him laugh. So he'd go, ha ha, you fucking asshole. Like he would say it to the TV. I'm like, what? You got me, you son of a bitch. I fucking hate you. Like, he'd always call things assholes that he thought was funny. He goes, asshole. He got me. Shit.
Is your dad still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still kicking. Both my parents are still out there.
Cool.
Bipping and bopping around. Healthy as far as I know.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
They're just getting up there in age.
Yeah, I mean, that's all of us.
Moving slower, but,
I pulled my back out the other day and realized that age is happening.
Was it doing something, or was it
I was doing something.
Okay,
I was
good.
lifting something quite heavy.
I had one of those sleeps where I pulled my neck for like a week.
Yeah.
I just got out of bed. I'm like, well, I just can't move my neck.
You're younger than me. What are you, 32?
I'm almost 35.
Oh, you are almost 35. Yeah. Okay, so Julie is younger than us.
Yeah. We're the same age?
I'm almost 35.
You're an ageless entity to me. I never know what age you are.
I haven't noticed anything aging on myself as a person. Besides, I have some grays.
Yeah, I got a lot of grays.
That's it.
Yeah, it's really.
But nothing else seems to be changing a lot. I guess one day I'll wake up and be like, oh, fuck.
Something's going to kick in any day now. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, my knees have started hurting a little bit, but still, considering how much I run, I'm like, that's still not too bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, 35, we're still spring chickens.
35 is like, that's
we're
the
just
prime
starting.
of your life, baby.
We're just starting.
We're fine. We're fine.
So these movies that you'd watch with your parents, I mean, when did it start to sit in for you that you might have wanted to entertain? Or do you remember having like a aha moment?
Yeah, honestly, it was Ace Ventura was the biggest one. And then like,
Ace Ventura was my favorite.
Oh
too.
my God, it was so
fucking born out of the
stupid.
hippo scene in the second one was
insane. Like I was young at the time, and I remember seeing it before anyone in my class saw it. So I would like do the lines at school, and there were like people were dying at school, and that was my first like.
You were stealing material.
I was stealing it, and then I remember I had a birthday party, and we watched Ace Ventura, and everyone at the party is like, "This is." I recognize all of this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I've been had.
The jig is up.
Yeah. And then also, I remember when my mom told me that he was Canadian too, and that was a big spark too. I'm like, holy shit, a Canadian can get and do this?
Right.
Like, that was my first experience with that, even though many Canadians have done many before, but it was just like, seeing how funny he was, and he was in movies, and he was Canadian. I was like, well, hell yeah.
Well, and because you were younger, and there was 3 of you, and the other 2 were sisters, did you try to entertain them, or like fuck with them, or anything growing up? Or
I wasn't like a prankster or anything like that, but yeah, I'd always try to be like goofy and fun and funny. And my Rachel, my middle sister, she always hated it because like I would try to make my parents laugh, and I was in trouble, and I would get out of things. And my sister would be like, you use humor to get out of things. Like
we have Matt, Rachel, and then is your older sister named Amy?
Katie.
I was close. I was close.
What made you think Amy?
I was just like, what is the most like Canadian,
Irish,
American-ish names I can think of?
Rachel, Katie, Matthew. Yeah. And then Terry and Maria were the parents. So yeah, that's a white Irish Catholic family right there.
And so what was Katie's deal?
Katie actually is autistic. So
she
has a learning disability. And yeah, so she always kind of had the mind of like a kid growing up, which, when I was a kid, we like, relate. We'd play video games and, goof around and everything. And so that was, a little difficult to grow up with.
Yeah. I mean, what I have a friend who had a autistic brother, and did you guys know right away, or was
I don't feel like, I think she did some tests when she was a kid, and they were like, she's going to have some troubles growing up. Mm-hmm. And she did. But the silver lining there is that right now, because they were like, she's always going to live at home. She won't get a job, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right now, she has a job. She has her own apartment. She has a job in Peterborough.
Yeah.
She's completely independent. She's totally worked her ass off and gone against what all the doctors have said. And
Yeah.
it's just like, it's crazy. And we're all so proud of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was different. Yeah. Growing up with that whole scenario. But
I know. I mean, I have one of my cousins is mildly autistic. It's more on the heavy Asperger's side of the spectrum. But same. There was a lot of challenges with that. Just, knowing or not knowing what to say or how to act in public or social situations. That was more of the thing. But also when you grow up in a small town, people just kind of adjust.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. No, that's the thing. There was no difficulties in that sense. Like,
right, as far as people just being evil.
Everyone was just cool. It was just like a classic small town, and we were just very hicky. People were riding around on lawnmowers because they got DUIs.
Yeah,
It was just like a small. Everyone kind of kept their own business.
Same shit. Yeah.
And like, especially with these farms, they're so spread out that it's like, we barely kind of knew our neighbors. Didn't really know our neighbors that well, so it was like, we kind of kept to ourselves.
So your just family dynamic was just the way it was.
Pretty much, yeah. Very doing our own thing.
In high school, did you get into any sort of entertaining or performing arts, or was that even an option where you lived?
I went to a choir and orchestra school for grades 5 to 8. I had to audition to get into it.
How did you decide that that's what you wanted to do?
My sister Rachel did it. So I was like, that seems pretty cool. I was like, I think I can sing. And I auditioned and then did a scene and got in.
Closer to London?
It was still in London.
Still in London.
St. Mary's Choir and Orchestra. And then, did that. Did plays and like got in. I was in a band. I played drums for a while and I played cello and I played stand-up bass.
Okay, so you were like pretty much all over the entertainment board.
I definitely knew that I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what. At first, I thought it was band. I was in a couple of bands and stuff like that.
I could totally see that.
I know. It was classic. I played drums for so long, and like living on a farm, I could play drums as loud as I want.
Well, and people kind of overlook percussion, but it's such a good. I had 3 different friends that played percussion. Yeah. I played the flute. Of course.
What a badass instrument.
I know, right? Yeah. Just tickling that long, skinny phallic thing.
Hard, though. You got to have the lungs and the lips.
But percussion gives you such good rhythm. It's a really good skill to have.
It's like a weird, good workout. I was like ripped when I was like in my early teens.
Did you play like the big old, like the timpani and shit? Or like.
I didn't play the big old ones.
Did you play snare? What'd you play?
No, it was like just a hobby of mine. Like I just got a drum set off of Craigslist.
Drum drums.
Like drum drums.
Regular drums.
Yeah, so I would play, my sister played guitar and then so we would kind of jam out.
You had an O'Brien band?
Yeah, the non-traveling O'Brien band that no one knew about.
Oh, man.
And yeah, that was the beginning. And then my high school was choir and orchestra as well. So I continued with choir and singing and stuff like that.
Did your parents think that you were gay?
For sure. I think they did. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember when my mom found porn underneath my mattress, like she was like laughing over her coffee. And I was like, what's so funny? She's like, good to know you're a true, what did she say? True blue little boy or something like that. She's like,
looking at women, you were like, oh.
Yeah. I think they for sure, because I'll be honest, I am a bit of a flamboyant, high energy character, so I've definitely gotten that throughout. Even recently, I mean, people would be like, "I thought you were gay, man." I was like, "I don't know." I guess
so
I give
funny.
off the gay
I mean,
vibe.
you don't give off the gay vibe at all now since I've known you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see you as a singing kid.
Yeah, I know.
Parents always question that among boys because I had a lot of guy friends. We had a dance community outside of my school. My school didn't have really a dance team or anything, or at least not a cool one. So we had a dance studio in town. And I had a couple boys that I danced with, and as we got older, they would keep it more secret from the rest of the school. Yeah. Like they were like, "Oh, everyone's gonna think we're gay."
I think
I'm like,
honestly,
so what if you're gay?
I know, and I wish I kind of leaned into it harder when I was, because at that point, people would make fun of me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd see other people getting made fun of. I'm like, I'm gonna bow out of this, even though I really enjoyed it.
Did you end up quitting?
Yeah, I quit.
You did.
Kind of like music and choir, and I kind of stopped. I didn't pursue acting or anything like that.
See, and that's
like,
such a dumb stigma. I'm glad that we're like, as a society, growing away from that
Yeah.
because there's so many gifted people that end up stunting themselves because they're worried about what it may look like on
Yeah.
either end.
Oh, for sure.
I even have friends that are. Anyway, we won't get into that.
Yeah, I got friends that.
I got friends with secrets. I
know.
But I just see so many people become inhibited with their art
Yeah.
because they're worried about what people might think,
Yeah.
whether they're gay or straight or
Which is,
whatever it
honest to God, something that really is kicked in the last like 5 or 6 years, where I just don't care, and I'm just like, I like what I like, and I'm gonna like. I actually got back into music. I'm in a musical right now.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
It's a parody of Fast and the Furious, and it's at Dynasty Typewriter.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Julia told me about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and I actually would love to go see that because that's got to
Yeah.
be so fun.
And that was like, I saw the audition advertised, and I was like, you know what? I like musicals. I'd love to do this, and I did it, and they liked me, and then I got the call back, and then I ended up booking it.
I
so.
think that's something that is what's nice about entertainment and watching yourself grow as an entertainer, because once I hit 30, I know so many women, especially in Hollywood, are like, oh, once I hit my 30s, like,
It's all downhill.
it's all downhill. I didn't feel like that at all. I was
Yeah.
like, I was in the same boat as you. I was like, I finally feel like I know where to focus my energy is and what
Right.
I like, and I'm okay with liking a number of things. A lot of people tell you either one or the other, like you can only like one thing and focus on one thing, or you should be good at 20 things. It's like, well, we don't need to be that excessive.
Yeah.
But I enjoy aging for that. I'm like, I just like what I like.
Just
and
being
if I don't like
confident
it,
and
then I
older.
don't need to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely something that's kicking in much harder. It's like, I don't like this. I'm not going to do it. You know
Time
what I mean?
becomes much more valuable, and
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
I'm not going to spend time doing some shit that I don't like.
I know. I've walked into some like open mics in town here. I'm like, I got to work on stuff, and then I just like walk right back out. I'm
Yeah.
like, I could be using my time better. I'm not going to wait around for 5 hours.
It's even been like that with some auditions, like shittier commercial auditions. Not
Oh,
that
yeah.
I should be up on my high horse about anything, but like I look at what it's going to pay and how much they want of me. Like if it's a lifetime, they
Yeah.
own my face for life and it's just this paycheck.
Oh, yeah.
And then I walk in and there's like 50 people and it's definitely going to be a 2-hour wait. I'm like, nope, I'm not
Yeah.
going to stay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so bad.
In my early 20s,
Like, this is not worth anything.
Did that. Yeah, I would go to every audition and do everything. but
No,
now,
some of it's
for
just
sure.
not worth it, especially when you're like creating your own content and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just make my own shit. Goodbye.
Use your time wisely, for God's
Exactly.
sake.
Exactly. So when did you get back into entertainment, or what happened after high school?
After high school, it was a bit of a slow burn. I didn't know what to do. I took a year off, or a couple of years off school. I didn't go right to
Just
college
work?
or anything. Just worked. I worked at a call center for Apple. Believe it or not, if you call Apple tech support, you might get Peterborough, Ontario, Canada.
Uh-huh.
So I got that job. And they taught me everything about Apple computers, so much that I got a job at an Apple store in Toronto when I moved there.
Did this just heighten your love for dial-up and all that?
Yeah. I was just like, I like techie stuff. So it just like, it all worked. And then I got a,
Which I feel like is handy with, because you're so good at some of that stuff now, editing and all that stuff.
that's where I
mean,
learned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it all paid off in spades when
those kind of skills are very handy.
I learned Final Cut Pro in and out, how to fix it, how to break it apart and everything, and everything about computers. And then I got, that job at the Apple store in Toronto. And that's when I started comedy. So I was working in an Apple store at the same time, able to, I was living comfortably, but still doing comedy and starting and blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't like, I was struggling through comedy, but at least I had some money, and a job. So
Exactly.
which was nice. But
Exactly. So, I mean, when did you end up deciding that you wanted to maybe make a move into this space?
I went
Like
to
out of the Apple store, what was your next move?
Before that, I went to college for journalism. And
Okay.
I remember my last year at college, right before I started the Apple store, my professor's like, if you want to get comfortable in front of the camera, try something like improv or stand-up. And I was like, I always wanted to try stand-up. I'll give it a whack. And then I did it once, and I was like, oh, shit, yeah, this is what I want to do.
And how old were you then?
I was 22,
you were a
23.
baby.
Yeah, I was a little guy. But and then immediately after college, I was like, well, I got to move to Toronto because that's where you go to do stand-up. And then
Did you do Second City there?
No, I
didn't?
I
Okay.
just did stand-up. Just went to Mike's, hung out, figured it all out. Still working at the Apple store, and just kept at it. And my goal, it's funny that I'm in LA now because my goal has always been to be here.
Yeah.
It was always like, in my head, I was like, I'm going to do stand-up for 5 years, and then I'll be in LA, baby.
Was it that fast? Was it,
No,
no,
I
it was
add
10?
another 5 to that, yeah. Because it was
Yeah, it was like you guys have been here for what, 3?
almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's just the amount of money involved to get the green cards and to move down here, and the exchange rate sucks.
I don't think because we definitely don't think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it's just like, you want to leave a city and go to a new one?
I know.
No problem.
Oh, God.
There are pluses and minuses, though, from your side, because like as far as comedy goes, which obviously we'll backtrack back to where it all started, but Canada has a couple cool things set up as far as comedy radio stations, ways to like make some residual income that aren't available in the U.S. markets because there's too much saturation
Absolutely,
here.
yeah.
So there is some pros and cons, obviously,
Definitely pros and cons.
Definitely always. But so when you were starting out in the Toronto scene, because I don't know a lot about the Toronto scene.
Yeah.
Is that where Eddie started too? That's where that's where he started.
All the Canadians that you know down here pretty much are Toronto.
So what was that scene like?
It was crazy. It was like...
Was it already pretty big?
Oh, yeah. Definitely huge. I mean, Yuck Yucks was the king.
Yeah.
It was like, you better get in at Yuck Yucks, and that's the club to get in. And then at the time, Comedy Nows were filming, which are equivalent to Comedy Central half hours here.
Ah, gotcha.
And if you got a Comedy Now, that was like your special. It was on air, and that was a
in
huge
Canada?
deal. Yeah. And like I remember when I first started, people were like warming up their Comedy Nows and stuff like that. And like I even worked at MTV, where they filmed MTV Canada, where they filmed the Comedy Now specials, and I helped set them up. And I remember being on set for those, being like, fuck, I will never do this. This is crazy. I don't know how you even do this. And then 3 years later, I ended up doing one.
Did you
I
half
did.
an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
my
did an
God.
hour.
You did an hour that early in?
Trust me when I say I was super bold when I started, and I hit the right things at the right time.
Yeah.
It was insane. I was 3 years in. I did a 5-minute guest spot at a club, and then the booker was there. And she was like, do you have an hour's worth of material? And I lied and said yes. And then she's like, I want to give you a Comedy Now. And then she's like, it films. She's like, it films in 5 months. And so
so you hustled.
I had 5 months to get an hour's worth of material. I booked spaces. I headlined my own little shows, and then eventually did it. I did 52 minutes. My parents were sitting in the front row. Julia, we just started.
That's like exactly what I just taped, but it
Really?
took me 9 years to do mine.
God, I mean, trust me, I don't use any of the same material, but I did it.
Yeah.
And it like was a big boost. It was just like, and then so many comics hated me after that. Too,
oh, I'm sure. There's so much.
Rightfully so. I'm like.
No, but there still is a lot of that I see. Whenever anybody gets something big, whether it's on, MTV or Comedy Central or E, all the little birds start chirping. And I don't ever give a shit what anybody's up to. I'm like, good for them. I'm just not, it doesn't bother me. I'm like, what they're doing doesn't affect me at all.
I know.
And I always think it's so funny when people start to hate on people because in Chicago, within a year, I was headlining some of the, not necessarily the clubs, but like the bigger local shows and stuff, getting paid. Like, you could make good money in Chicago when you're pretty new.
Huh.
Yeah. And I didn't know that when I moved to LA that was not the same.
It's not like that everywhere.
That you were just going to make $100 a pop on a 20-minute set. I didn't know that wasn't a thing here.
Yeah.
So, and this is something that Eddie Della Siepe was talking about on the last week's podcast. But he said, he had a really good living in Canada and was, working on the networks, working on the TV stations, but he had kind of hit the threshold of what he thought he could do there, which is why he moved here. Is that what you felt like too?
100%. It's literally like, I don't know what more I could have done. Like if all the Canadians that you saw down here, if they did the things they did in Canada down here, like we'd be stars. Like there's no star system in Canada. So it's like, when I left, I was a regular commercial actor. I was booking 10 or 12 commercials a year at one point. So I was all over TV. I was on a bunch of TV shows, had my own special. I just filmed my third Just for Laughs taping. Like I had a bunch of tapings. I was at the Halifax Comedy Festival. And I just kept doing these things. And then it just was I'd be performing in like Legion halls and shit. And no one cared. No one knew. But then an American would come into town and the place would blow up.
Yeah.
Didn't matter the American. Could be an American comedian that's been doing it 2 years.
It's really like that. I mean, that's what I realized even just with doing 2 different Europe tours now. And the reason that I always sell out in the Caribbean is because you go somewhere where there's not a lot of entertainment. Yeah. You're a superstar.
Oh, yeah. But that's the weirdest part of Canada is there's so much entertainment, but it's just like we just look at the Americans and be like, oh my God, look
Why
at
aren't we
that.
them?
Why aren't we them? And like so much that the TV stations up there are changing to American programming only.
Interesting.
And it's just getting so like crazy up there. So
Well, there's so much work other places. Like I just met with a producer from the UK because I'm about to do Edinburgh in 2020.
oh shit.
And we were talking, and he was like, "There's so many opportunities. You should be working in London a bunch." And I was like,
Right.
"I would love to. I would totally be on a British sitcom, but I'm still gonna live in LA though."
Yeah, I know. Because it's
not the
the
same,
biggest
like,
thing you can do.
You
is
want to
be here.
work, but you also want like. I don't know. I mean, I obviously work is just work. You know,
Yeah.
you want to be working on something fun with people you like. I mean, that's just hopefully everybody's goals.
But that was also the choice that a lot of us Canadians had to make because we were all we were living fine up there.
Yeah.
I was either like, I'm going to get a green card or I'm going to buy a condo and live comfortably in Toronto.
Yeah.
That is loud. Is that a motorcycle?
Yeah, what's the point of that?
Jesus.
People, what are you doing, sir?
Sound like a bunch of bags taped together. Some guy blowing
Flatulent
into
bags,
them.
yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like that's the hardest choice for a lot of people to make. Even people that have really good livings in Chicago or Seattle or
Yeah,
in
that
other
too.
scenes that aren't Los Angeles or
Yeah.
New York. I've seen a lot of people from the Chicago scene want to stay in the Chicago scene, or
Right.
people that have tried to leave and then they go back because they can work so much more there. Totally different because when you're in Canada, obviously you have your own networks. Like you and Eddie were good examples of people that were working regularly, making good money, not just club money, like TV money.
TV stuff,
Yeah.
which was nice. And it's a whole country. It's like, I understand. Yeah, I've seen the city people, like Chicago people especially, or, and they're like, I like that scene. Like but imagine your scene is a whole country. You know what I mean? Like we go back and forth and tour across a whole country.
Yep.
It's crazy. And it's, moving here the first couple of years, I say, like, I would be like, did I make the right move? Did I make a huge mistake? Like,
We all
shit.
go through that. It doesn't matter where you come from. LA kind of slaps you in the face pretty hard.
oh my God, it makes you real humble.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a good thing because,
Yeah.
people think that they're going to move. I did too. I mean, I was pretty set up when I first moved here. I was running. This is just like I'm still doing in other cities. I was running a show at Comedy Store monthly while I was living in Chicago.
Wow.
Flying out every month, just like I've been doing weekly for Vegas from here.
That's right.
But like, it's a constant hustle. It
Yeah.
doesn't go away.
It never stops.
And the more
Yeah.
busy you get or the more known you get, just the more your hustle changes and
Yeah.
just more money is at stake. But that's it. It's the same shit.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And
But-
what was your situation like when you met Julia? Did you meet in the clubs? I can't remember the story.
We met literally at a bar called Comedy Bar in Toronto. And yeah,
Is that related to the comedy bar in Chicago?
it is not.
Okay.
But it gets very confused
Yeah, I'm sure.
frequently. But yeah, we met there and, we hooked up once. And then we're like, we can't do this. We're comedians.
Yeah, you're like, I can't shit where I eat.
And then we're like, let's eat our own shit.
Let's just roll in the
Let's just
shit.
keep rolling in this shit.
If we don't know whose shit it is, then it's not anybody's shit.
Yeah, and then we did, and we just kept going. So and it was great.
Yeah.
It was it was because all my other relationships have died because of comedy.
And that's the thing.
So-
Either somebody has to be with you on the journey or they have to be able to understand the journey. It's
Yeah.
one or the other.
So the best thing for us was another person that understood what they were
What it was
doing,
like.
So
Yeah. So what was the move like for you guys and how did you come about making the decision together?
yeah, we just always were on the same page about being in LA, and like it just once our savings got enough, we literally were like, do we buy a house or a condo or are we going to LA? And I'm like, it's not even a choice. Like we have to go. Like that's even like being at Just for Laughs and stuff like that, which is the best festival in the world. You just see how the Americans are treated there, and you're like, oh, I want to get that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you kind of want to come here so you can make it bigger in your own country, which sounds crazy.
It is, but it's like
Yeah.
that. It's like that period. It's funny how it works like that.
Yeah.
Because I think about that and even how I'm treated going back to some of the clubs in Chicago. It's
Yeah.
so nice. It's refreshing because we don't even
In
get
from
treated
LA.
like that here.
Yeah, I know.
I have to like beg half of these clubs to like
Yeah.
give me time. I go back to Chicago and they're like, sure, what do you want?
Yeah,
Like
come on
I'm
in.
like, man, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
But it's we were completely on the same page about moving here, and it was just so much work with the green card, and just getting our
What is
shit
that
going.
process like? Nobody's really gone through what that is.
It's a lot of like letters from people, reputable people in the industry saying that you can do something, that you are a person of extraordinary ability is the phrasing.
Interesting.
So you have to prove that you can do something that no American can do, which sounds insane and impossible.
What?
Yeah.
That's what they make you do?
Oh yeah. So
No wonder everybody thinks the Canadians are stuck up.
I know, it is the most un-Canadian thing to do. And like, I'd meet people and be like, "Can you write me a letter saying I'm extraordinary?" Like,
so would you have to meet them? Would it have to be people from the U.S.?
Trust me, I would meet somebody. I met somebody from Warner Brothers at Just for Laughs for a second, and then within 2 seconds, I was like, "Can I get a letter from you? I'm getting a green card." And they know, like, these people have written letters, for Canadians before, and then. So yeah, it was just like whoever I could get, like people that run shows in Toronto.
And just the more letters you get, the better.
The more letters you get, I won some awards, which helped.
Yeah.
I was a judge for awards shows up there, which was even bigger help. So it was just like gathering all that shit together. I had to get, because I was on shows on Much Music, which is Canada's MTV, a different department. I'd have to get the ratings for the show I was on. I'd have to get, the demographic, how many people watched it, where they watched it.
Which is crazy, because here everybody just bullshits their credits constantly.
Oh, yeah. I
know,
know.
and here you're having to get physical proof.
Yeah. And then, but I mean, during the process, I'll tell you, halfway through, you're like, am I that good? Should I even be good?
Sure.
Like you second guess yourself.
Of course, yeah.
You're like, holy shit, am I really doing this? And then, I've seen people get denied green cards after, $12,000 worth of work. And then, so that's the biggest fear there. And probably $14,000. And then I finally got it.
$14,000?
Yeah, to get the green card. Had to have a meeting at the consulate, U.S. consulate in Montreal, just to make sure I'm not crazy, I guess.
And how long does a green card last?
I think it's good for 8 or 10 years or something. And then it's just, I got to pay something to renew it or go for citizenship, which I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I would like to vote. That's the craziest thing, too. They told me when I got my green card, I could be drafted into the military, but I can't vote. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if there's a major war, I could be drafted.
That's technically for any, I guess maybe they just have to say that as a disclaimer.
Maybe. I don't know. But
like when they're filming in anywhere, but now they're filming everywhere, so there's disclaimers up everywhere. Like you could just be drafted. You could be on film. You could be drafted.
Yeah. But it was one of the craziest, it took us about 4 years to get it done. And we kind of took our time with it, but it was just so.
That's great. And that's coming from Canada too. I don't think people realize how.
Well, that's what we're like, imagine you were an immigrant from a country that didn't speak English. I speak English, and this process was so insane to me.
Yeah.
And so complicated. But if
you could dip your toe across the border. It's like
it was just so nuts. But and then coming down here, and then you're like, all right, well, I don't have work lined up. Now I just have to rebuild everything. So that was just another scarier part, was rebuilding everything.
What's been the weirdest? Yeah, I was like, get into some of what's been the hardest parts of being in the comedy scene here in LA specifically.
Immediately feeling like there's too many comics and I didn't belong.
Yeah.
That was my first feeling, and that was what made me the most depressed. I was like, oh, there's no room for me. I'm
Every
too late.
new cycle of comedians, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because there's always a new class coming up.
Yeah.
That's why I always just try to stick with like the class that I'm with a little bit, just because then it's like, all right, we're all up to like this level of things. It's kind of nice. I feel like if they're doing something, then I have the opportunity soon to do something. It kind of keeps you in like that good headspace, because there is just so much fuckery in this.
It's crazy. The fuckery is off the charts.
There is so many comics.
Yeah, but you just got to keep your head down and like do your own thing, which is exactly what you do. It's just like you just fucking just work, just do it, and be confident in what you do, which is something that I lost for a bit when I first moved here. I was like super not confident, and you could see it on stage. Like I'd have meltdowns on stage here just because I was so depressed and so like, well, I'm a piece of shit again. Like,
were you depressed just because of the shockery of the scene?
The shock of it all. Just not being in Toronto and being able to walk on any show I wanted to, showing up to a show and they'd be like, oh, can you please do a set? And like then showing up to a million shows and having no one know.
Or just email. I mean, this is the thing that still hits me hard, is when I email or just message on Instagram, like new shows that are cropping up in town. And I don't have the biggest credits ever, but I've been around for a long time. I do have credits, and it's like. And then they're like, can you send us a tape? And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Jesus
I've sent
Christ.
people tapes from like Just for Laughs, like gala
Yeah.
edited from television, and they've still turned me down here and been
so
like,
weird.
you're not for us. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
This is in a theater in front of
Are you
2,000
2
people.
years into stand-up and you're judging me? And it
know.
feels so gross. It just feels like, ugh.
Or I had somebody from a show, I sent them a Just for Laughs clip, and it was from a gala in a 2,000-seater theater. And they were like, oh, I bet you're going to send one of those nice-looking Just for Laughs clips. Well, I don't want to see one of those. Send me another clip. Because they like all Canadians, because we've all done Just for Laughs. And we all have these amazing clips.
Yeah.
But there's some bookers down here that are like, oh, good for you.
We want to see you on a bar show with 3 people. How can you do in front of 3 people at 1 a.m? Send me that tape.
It's almost like I couldn't tell if it was jealousy or just like, I don't know what this is kind of thing. Like,
It's just a wielding of power,
Yeah.
which is what I see the most in this scene that's frustrating, is depending on who's booking whatever, whether it's a club or a room, it's just a different wielding of power.
yeah.
And
It's
that's why I'm just trying to run my own shows in every city, so I
the
don't
best thing you
have to
can
worry
do.
about it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, if I'm in charge, nobody's going to be a dick because it's me.
I'll watch my own tape and then book me. Looking great, Natasha.
People literally try to send me tapes. I'm like, what is this? Why are you sending me a tape?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
tell me when you want to do the show.
I know. The second you start running a show, we've run a few shows here,
Yeah.
and it's like the amount of tapes you get.
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy.
You're like,
It's
who can even watch these?
Yeah.
Even I was a producer on the Big Sky Comedy Festival for 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if I'll end up doing it again, but this year I had to bow out just because of time. But I know just even with that festival, they get like 1,000 or 2,000 tapes or something ridiculous,
Jesus.
and they can't even like finish everything. Like you know, you have to get like, and this is with anything, auditions, or the reason why nobody should feel shitty about anything, any part that they don't get. People have time to watch like the first minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not to say that, the guys I know would try to watch like everything, but sometimes in a minute in, if somebody's just not right.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yeah.
got to start strong and all this stuff. I mean, there's just so many things. It's just, that's a lot. It's a lot to undertake to run shit.
That's why the first minute of all my stand-up clips is me cartwheeling on stage going, please, 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 come on, give this to me. I need it bad.
Ooh, bribery.
Yeah.
Bribery and pleading. That's
Just
the only things that
begging.
work. Yeah. And, how do you feel about it now after having been here for nearly 3 years?
I finally feel kind of good.
Yeah.
It's with this musical, the musical really turned things around for me.
Really?
It was such a fun outlet, and the people involved are the best, and it was just nice. Because comedy, stand-up comedy can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes. It can crush the shit out of your butt.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
And this is something that I almost hit a point, I think this was probably 4 years ago, where I questioned if I was going to continue stand-up because
Yeah.
I was hanging out around the clubs so much. And every couple of years, the clubs go through shifts.
Yeah.
So this was during a major shift in a couple clubs where the bookers that I was used to were leaving and the new ones that were coming in had their new
Oof.
favorites.
Yeah.
And you just don't get booked anymore. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to put up with this.
Yeah.
I also was sick of hanging out at the clubs just in hopes to like run into the
That's
right
the worst.
people. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to have the same conversations with people over and over again. So I was getting really burnt out and I wasn't actively trying to book anything for like 5 months. I was like, if anyone asks me to do a show, I'll do it, but I'm not going to like
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
And I got asked to do a lot of shows in that time. And I was
Nice.
like, oh, fuck.
I guess I'm still in
I
it.
guess I'm stuck.
Yeah.
It was kind of at least the universe like keeping me around.
Yeah. No.
Because I almost got burned out I think people do all the time just because it is a lot.
Well, it's the most sane thing to think, do I want to keep doing this? Like, I think not enough comics think that. And then
Yeah.
they just burn themselves out and go fucking crazy.
Right.
And they just end up ruining their lives.
Yep.
But it's like, question that every now and then. Like, don't be afraid to question that.
Or you can just find ways to make this space work for you, which
Yeah,
is what
that
I've
too.
been trying to do. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm in charge of doing something, I'll know I enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I can work with my friends then. Maybe I'll just do mostly that.
Do it yourself, man. Literally, everybody in this industry has always just been like, do it yourself. Make your own shit.
It
do your
is.
own content.
It
It's like,
really is true.
and then when you start doing it, you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
this
why
is
would
it.
I do it any other way? It's just, it's a lot of work, but at least you have some control, or at least you think you do.
Yeah, you think you do.
So, any other closing remarks before we peace out? What do you have coming up? What are you excited about?
Oh, gee. The Fast and the Furious musical is coming up December 13th at Dynasty Typewriter. You can come see it.
Is it just one day or is it run for a while?
It's been running monthly.
Oh, it has been running monthly. Okay.
So it's probably going to be back again, I imagine. But yeah, so you can go to dynastytypewriter.com and check that out.
I love that space too. I've only seen 2 shows there, but I love
the
Dynasty.
Greatest comedy venue in the city, 100%.
That's before I go out of town too for the holidays. Maybe I'll go with your wifey.
Ooh, you should come.
I would love to. I love. One of my friends years ago did a parody movie of Fast and the Furious called Super Fast.
It's easy to parody. I'm telling you.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a franchise. You can parody it forever.
There's a lot of meat in there. But the musical also has like an original story and like
which is cool. Yeah,
it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's been sold out every single month for the last like 6 or 7 months. But
I think they make really good choices of what content to put up at that theater too, which is cool. Like
best.
the audience.
Yeah,
it's hard. Like knowing this and knowing. It's pretty funny when you start getting into the producing side of live shows as well as being a talent, because you realize a lot of people can't sell places.
Oh, yeah.
Even really people that we think are really big names in the LA scene aren't a draw necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
So it's rare when there's a venue that is its own draw and that
true.
people trust that the content being put up there is going to be good.
Yeah.
And Dynasty is one of them.
And that's it, baby. Yeah.
So it's cool.
It's a very fun time. And then also all of my stand-up dates are going to be on mattobryancomedy.com.
Yeah.
Midi.
And what do you have any big touring or coming up? Anything specific?
No. I'm just going to be around. I'm probably going to go tour Canada in the spring when I need some money.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some more dates coming up. But, yeah, we're focused on going to Thailand for Christmas right now. That's all I can think
so
about.
now that you know Matt O'Brien, if anyone wants to sponsor, I'll tag along. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, you're coming. It's going to be just the 3 of us.
I'm actually, for Christmas, I'm road tripping across the country with my best friend.
Oh, shit.
He lives in Vegas, but he's going back to Wisconsin, where we're both from.
Oh, my God, that's going to be
for
fun.
a couple months, and so he's taking all his shit with him. So I'm driving out to Wisconsin from Las Vegas.
That's a fun drive.
On the 16th or 17th of December.
Shit.
Across the country. I haven't done the cross-country drive since I moved to LA.
Yeah, that's the last time we did it. We did the cross Toronto to LA.
Yeah.
It was
it's
wild.
Wild.
Yeah.
What time of year did you guys do it to?
We did it January.
Okay, so
we had a snowstorm all the way until New Mexico.
I'm sure.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you're really gambling at that point.
It was a bad gamble.
December is going to be a gamble too, but at least going from Las Vegas, we're going to take the south route.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That's what we did for a little bit.
When I moved out here, did you guys have a U-Haul and everything, or did you just buy all your shit?
Crammed it all in a Mazda 3.
That was smart. No, that's smart, though, because me and my friend rented a U-Haul.
Yeah.
It was so poorly packed because we were so hungover / drunk when we were trying to smash everything in it. And I had a Papasan chair that I loved and a couple dressers. Mostly it was just like clothes and books and whatever. Every time we'd open it, something of mine, my shit was on the back end, so something of mine would start to fall out, and I would be like, let's just leave it. So I left a trail across the country of my shit. And then when I got to LA, I was like, I don't have any furniture.
All I have is my Papa John's chair.
Yeah, I had literally a Papasan chair cushion and like a bed frame and nothing else.
Oh my God.
It was bizarre.
A nightmare.
It really was a nightmare. What are all your socials, Matt O'Brien?
Matt_O'Brien on Twitter. Matt O'Brien on Instagram. I don't know how I got that.
OBRIEN, right? Yeah.
You bet. And mattobryancomedy.com for all their things.
And I am at NPH Comedy. You can follow the podcast at Future Role Model or at Role Model Pod. There are, after this episode airs, there will be 2 more of my live Las Vegas shows left in the year, December 9th and December 16th. I will be headlining. I will be featuring on the 9th for Brant Tobler, and then I'll be headlining on the 16th, which is the final show of the year.
Hell yeah.
And potentially some fun new surprises with the Future Role Model brand coming up in 2020.
Tattoos, bumper stickers, tote
Face
bags.
paint, mostly body paint.
Body paint.
It's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I guess that's you.
Hairspray.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what we got up our sleeve. Mini bombs. I don't know. That's really bad. Smoke bombs where I just toss it and just Future Role Model comes popping up.
Perfect. Give me a case of them.
And you can find all my upcoming dates definitely, if you are in Washington, D.C., get tickets to come and see me on February 16th. I will be headlining the D.C. Comedy Loft. I'm really excited. First time headlining in D.C., first time playing D.C. at all.
Love it.
The days leading up to that, I'll be featuring for Neil Nanda. So
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend. And and Boss Comedy that I run with Courtney Sherman, which has been selling out in the Comedy Store, is going to be moving to Oxnard and New York as well, starting in January.
God, you must be so tired.
I'm tired all the fucking time. I just put a note on Instagram the other day that I need an assistant. I'm hiring somebody for 2020.
That. I was like, well, I'll see what the pay is. I'll ask her.
Yeah, I mean, it's part-time to start, but I want to build them into all the things.
That's hilarious.
But
I love that.
I was like, it's worth it for me to pay X amount a month to free up that time because otherwise I'm going to fucking fall apart.
Just Cosmo Kramer and get an intern.
I'm so busy.
Go to UCLA and get an intern.
I know. I'd feel so awful though. I can't. I mean, out of so many years of working for free, I can't do it.
Else? Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do for the shows as well, is get like money into more paying the comics a lot more and making it more of a lucrative situation for everybody. But it's baby steps.
Love it.
Baby steps. Any closing remarks?
Do what you do and do it well. And if you can't do it well, at least get sticky.
Get the fuck out of it. What my favorite yoga. I go to Moto Yoga on La Brea, which is
that where you do yoga on a motorcycle?
Where I do exactly. It's really tough and dangerous.
Yeah.
And sweaty. My favorite yoga instructor is named Dalton, and he always has like really cool little catchphrases. It's not like creepy yoga shit. It's like cool yoga shit.
It's like listen to your toes and feel your ankles. What?
Exactly.
Dalton, what?
And he says something, the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Holy fuck, Dalton.
And I fucking love it.
Dalton.
Do everything well. All right, we're getting the fuck out of here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.